You're watching WCSD Cable Television from Calloway County High School.
For many, college and studying is hard as it is, but what about studying abroad, maybe with the language and culture not native or familiar previously? I'm Henna Jokela, and today on Calloway Connections we have Bill McKibben from Murray State University. He works with international students and is here to tell about his job with the Institute for International Studies. So, Mr. McKibben, it's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I sure do appreciate it.
Thank you. So, can you tell me what is the purpose of the Institute for International Studies?
Sure. One of the main purposes for the Institute for International Studies is to promote the internationalization efforts at Murray State University. We also, in the Institute, there are several units housed in the Institute for International Studies. Currently, we have the Education Abroad Office, International Admissions, Student and Scholar Services, and the English as a Second Language program. So not only do we promote the internationalization efforts, but we offer services for U.S. Students to study abroad, and then for international students coming to study at Murray State, we offer support services for those students.
Do you work with one of those programs, or what is specifically your role?
Sure. My role is the Director for International Enrollment and Retention, and I currently oversee the International Admissions Office and Student and Scholar Services.
How did you study for this?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I didn't really study for this job. Actually, it kind of happened. Many years ago, I was an exchange student myself. I studied abroad in South Korea for a summer term, and my best friend was from South Korea. He was the only international student in our high school. We were roommates in college, and he got me interested in South Korea. So I studied abroad, later came back to the States. He introduced me to a job there teaching English, and I planned on going for 1 year, ended up staying for 4 years, met my wife, got married there, came back, and lo and behold, an opportunity presented itself at Murray State University, and that's how I kind of got into the position. I wanted to return the favor. So many people were very nice to me when I was in South Korea, did so many nice things for me, and really helped me have a pleasant experience, and I know that I wouldn't be able to return the favor to all those individuals, but I thought maybe one day I could return the favor to someone else, and when that position opened up at Murray State, that kind of gave me the opportunity to do so.
That's a noble way of thinking.
Yeah.
And when you have yourself experienced it, do you think like it's important to go somewhere else to study, or was it a good experience to have?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at first I was really a little nervous. I grew up in East Tennessee all my life, never been out of the United States, and so it was a big jump for me to go halfway around the world. But I have no regrets in doing so. I was a little scared in the beginning, but everything worked out great. It was probably the best experience of my life, and because of that experience, it really opened my mindset to new ways of thinking, meeting new people, experiencing new cultures, and so absolutely, I think if anybody has the opportunity to venture outside the United States, even if it's just for vacation or a short visit, I highly encourage them to do so.
What are the hardest parts of going to exchange or having people from other countries to Murray State? What do they struggle with?
Well, I think some of the things are universal. For me, when I went abroad, it was language. Food was another thing. And I think our international students at Murray State will also experience some of the same difficulties. I think a lot of time it's adapting to a new culture. Food is always really difficult to adapt to. It's a comfort from home, so sometimes it's hard to find the comfort things such as food in a new country. But for the most part, those things are easily, you can overcome those things a little easily. So, but I think those are some of the things that students struggle going abroad and coming here, maybe language and food.
What countries do the students mostly come from to Murray State?
We have around 60 different countries represented at Murray State. We have students from Canada, Mexico, Central and South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, the Middle East. So we're very fortunate to have about 60 different countries represented at Murray State.
Oh, that's from all around the world.
Yeah, we're lucky. We have a lot of diversity at Murray State.
Does it show a lot in the schools, everyday life, that there are a lot of exchange students? How does it show, actually?
Well, I mean, for us, Murray and Murray State University, it's a mid-sized school. So when you have about 560 different students from different countries on campus and out in the community, it can show that way. A lot of people will see people from different countries, and so a lot of the community members are curious about the individuals, and I've heard stories where students have told me random people will come up and say, "Hi, welcome to Murray, where are you from?" They're very interested, and so I think our students feel very comfortable and feel welcomed, and I think they appreciate that, and it helps make their experience a little bit nicer.
Yeah. But what is it about Murray State University specifically? Why would international students want to come there?
That's a good question. I can't speak on behalf of all the international students at Murray State, but from the conversations that I've had with students, I think one of the big things is the safety at Murray State University. I know that Murray is safe. Murray State University has the honor of being a safe campus. It's a title that's not bestowed on many universities, so we had that title, and not too long ago Murray was voted the friendliest small town in the United States by Rand McNally in USA Today. So I think whenever you travel abroad, one of the big concerns, especially with parents, is safety. The friendliness. I think a lot of students are also attracted to Murray State because of the education that Murray State offers and the affordability. And I also think that it's a lot of students like it because it's a small town atmosphere, and they can really experience American culture firsthand to really get a sense of what America's really like.
Yeah. Is there a certain kind of study field that most international students go, or is it just all over?
It's all over. A lot of students like to pursue the business fields, MBA at the graduate level or business administration at the undergraduate level. A lot of students are interested in our engineering programs, applied engineering technology management at the graduate level, TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages. It's across the board, human development leadership in the College of Education. So agriculture, we have students in the art majors, so it's pretty well rounded for majors.
Yes. If you had to pick one country, where do the students mostly come from Is there
Mostly come from, right now, it varies almost from year to year, believe it or not.
Mhm.
Some of the biggest populous groups are students from India,
Mhm.
China, Saudi Arabia, South Korea. Those would probably be our largest countries that are represented right now.
Okay. Well, we are gonna have a break now.
Okay.
So we'll be right back on Calloway Connections with Mr. McKibben.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
You're watching WCSD Cable Television from Calloway County High School.
Here at Calloway Connection, I'm Henna Jokela and I'm here with Mr. McKibben. Again, we're back from the break. And I have a few pictures here that if we could take a look at.
Sure.
And if you can tell a little bit about them. Here's one.
Yes, this just happened recently. These are members of the African Student Organization at Murray State University, and they had a little event held in the Curris Center to bring awareness about Africa and the different countries represented. They had clothes there, they had food, which was really awesome. Food's always a good thing. The guys were really good cooks, and so they were representing their countries and trying to just maybe educate others about where they're from and to bring awareness to their culture.
Oh, that's awesome. And here's another one.
This is actually, she is from Belize. This is our international bazaar that we have during International Education Week. It's held in November. And so a lot of our students will have booths put together that talks about their countries. And we invite local schools in the area to come visit. It's an all-day event, usually held on a Wednesday. And so we have anywhere from 600 school children from the local communities to come, from Tennessee, here in Kentucky, different places. And so that's just one of many countries represented, and there's a student asking information about Belize.
That's cool. And then when after these students have studied, are there like any statistics like how many stay in the United States after?
I do not have that information on the top of my head, but a good majority of our students, I would say more than 2/3 of our students will stay in the United States, sometimes short-term, sometimes long-term. A lot of our graduates will have the opportunity to work after graduating. And so some students have up to 1 year for work authorization, so many students will try to seek employment after they graduate, and sometimes that employment will lead into long-term employment. So a lot of our students do want to stay, but the other students are ready to go home to look for employment back home, and they might have family that they're ready to get back to. So I'd say about 2/3 would like to, at least from here at Murray State, would remain in the United States for a little bit longer.
And how many like, what is the word? Come on. Well, if you said previously that you had like because of personal reasons you like this job. Do you like have anything else that attracts to this, like learning from other countries or something?
Sure. I mean, I think having international students is really important. Diversity is very important. We can learn so much from people from different cultures, different from ours. Me personally, when I was in South Korea, it really opened my mind to a new way of thinking. Before traveling abroad, I only thought I was really focused and just centered in, I guess, my own little world. And then when I was able to venture out, I realized how big the world really was and that there were different ways to do things. And so it was a good experience. I kept an open mind and I came back, and it really helped me to grow as an individual. And I really appreciate the opportunity that I had.
That's great. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was great.
It's awesome, but we are gonna wrap it up now.
Okay.
And yes, I'm Henna Jokela here with Mr. McKibben, and this was Calloway Connection.